welcome to Kukaini. Well, this one's considered to be a living ghost town, so there are people that still live in the region.
Apparently, Kukaini was known for its red light district. There were 2 red light districts. They were quite popular with the local folk. The wives of the miners would save money and then give their partner some funds because there was no form of birth control. I'm the king of the castle and you're standing in cow shit.
Probably. Apparently they liked a bit of gambling out here, and they played a game called Fly-Loo. Now what they would do is they'd set up piles of sugar in front of each person, and they'd make bets on who was going to have a fly land on their pile of sugar first. We're at John Aspinall's grave. The poor guy was struck by lightning. What a way to go. And this is his grave, out in the middle of nowhere.
It shows you how severe some of these storms in the Goldfields can be, though.
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere. Flash flooding, huge lightning storms, and an untimely death.
Good morning. So this is the start of day 3. We camped at Windarra. There's like an unofficial free camp here at Windarra. Just be mindful though, if you do come here, it is on a lease, a mining lease, and probably about 5 k's down the road there's a caretaker that's looking after the place, and he came driving in here and he was quite angry when he got here. He was alright by the time he left, but he was quite angry, saying that people camp here all the time and leave their rubbish and he has to come tidy it up. So if you do come here, just be mindful to take all your rubbish away. He said he was thinking about taking an excavator and digging a big trench so people can't get into the area. So we don't want to ruin it for other people. So we just take away our rubbish, stay in the night, just keep it tidy. It's common sense really, isn't it? Yeah, but we're moving on today. We've got a few spots to go to today. Murrin, Leonora, Gwalia, and then we're hoping to get to Snake Hill, which is near Lake Ballard. We're hoping to get there tonight, but we'll see how we go. That could be pretty busy being a Saturday, so it's, I'll turn the camera around because you probably don't want to see me, and show you the campsite area. So there's not a lot here, it's just a big open area. There's a camper there, the beast. Yeah, plenty of firewood around, but yeah, like I said, if you're in here, please take your rubbish out. It really isn't that difficult.
Welcome to Murrin. Doesn't look very great with all the plumes of stuff going out of the tops of the stacks there, but here's a fast little fun fact. This mine site, some 21 odd years ago, there was a young fresh-faced little Sezzy that stepped her first foot into the mining industry. This was where I first worked, in the mining industry anyway. I had started my journey here just in the sample prep in the lab, so it was a lot of grinding and milling and dirty work. But whilst I was also here, I joined the emergency response team, got a lot of great skills from there, and helped out a lot of the community. There's actually an Aboriginal community not too far from here called Mount Margaret Mission, where we've got a lot of call-outs too. Because we're kind of in between currently Leonora and Laverton, kind of smack bang in the middle, so it's good to have these resources here. But let me just consult the oracle here and I'll tell you some fast facts about Murrin. The current Murrin, this processing plant here, is not the first mine to have the same Murrin name. Its namesake actually came from another mine, a copper mine called Anaconda. For any of you that have followed along the lines of Andrew Twiggy Forrest, this was his first mine site that he owned, and it was previously called Anaconda. So yeah, that Anaconda mine, the original one, was about 25 k's southwest of here. And that was an impressive, according to this book, an impressive underground mine regularly producing 50% of Western Australia's copper output. So yeah, you can see with this little operation, you've got the main processing plant, which does nickel and cobalt. The big tall stack right up in the middle, that's H2S, hydrogen sulfide. You'll generally see a flame coming out of that every now and again. There's sometimes, if they are, because they make their own sulfur here as well, they can, depending on the wind direction, have evacuation, so you can see parts of the main highway could get blocked off as well. Just to that side there's a little calcrete processing plant, so yep, I don't know what calcrete's used for, but they make it there. And to this side you can see the heavy machinery workshop just over here. So yeah, as far as the eye can see, it's all open pit operations that come through here and across the other side of the road as well. So there we go. There's an insight into young Sezzy. Murrin. But yeah, so I didn't even know this little lookout exists. Not too far down the road's a security gatehouse, so you can't go any further. They'll turn you around. From here, that's where we're heading. And hopefully Hoover's House is open, so we can compare the scones, because they do tea and scones, and we can compare the scones to Warden Finity's house in Coolgardie. Now, spoiler alert, we have been to Gwalia before. We have eaten the scones there, but I just can't remember what they were like. So we're going for round 2 if it's open.
So we've just stopped on just out of town on Leonora. We've got this little lay down area with some old gear in it, old grader there. Old crow there, like an old steam tractor or something. It's an old battery here. Just some interesting stuff. We're going to head off towards the south there. That's Mount Leonora, and just to the right of that, there's some buildings there. That's Gwalia, which is an old ghost town. So we'll go and have a look at that. Welcome to the State Hotel in Gwalia. In the early 1900s, no one wanted to build a hotel in Gwalia because there was no freehold title on the land. And because as a result of that, the sly grog trade was thriving in town. To fix this problem, the state government built this hotel, and the doors opened in 1903. And at its peak, they were pulling an 18-gallon keg out of the cellar every 20 minutes to quench the thirst of the 550 people working at the local mine. So yeah, it's pretty full on. Gwalia, State Hotel. Get amongst it. Look at this little miner's cottage. So Gwalia, basically, they said you've got a date on a train and then you have to take what you can take. So a lot of this stuff was just left behind. So this cottage is a good example of the resourcefulness of mine workers who were constructed the houses using whatever materials were available. So this is a couple's home. Hessian walls. Oh my god.
Yeah, you're going to have to duck when you come in here, mate.
I have to duck. I'm 6'2", or nearly 6'3", and I can't stand up in here. But they they left all this stuff behind. Oh, I can stand up in the middle. But yeah, these tiny little windows. Unreal. Master bedroom. Probably be big enough to put our bed in it. Maybe. That's the lockup. That's convenient. The lockup's only about 100 metres up the road from the pub. The first police station in Gwalia was a tent on this site in 1903. The following year, a more permanent structure with attached residence was completed. So there you go.
This would be like a big sweat box in here.
Oh, in summer that'd be horrible in there, wouldn't it? Wow. The Sly Grog Shop. One of the first and most successful home industries established in Gwalia was the manufacture and sale of sly grog or illegal alcohol. Oh yeah, the old bottle shop. So apparently in summer, to try and cool things down a bit, they would wet these hessian walls and the breeze would come through and cool the place down a little bit. But it'd still be stinking hot in here in summer. These old number plates on the shed there. Just old car parts and stuff. And yeah, it's interesting. So this is the Gwalia mine here. And it has a swimming pool right at the top of the pit, the open pit. So in 1937, Sons of Gwalia mine manager Edward Loring spoke of the collaborative spirit between mine workers and management. And the board approved the construction of a swimming pool to be constructed largely through voluntary labour. But in the 1940s and 50s, the pool was closed because of outbreaks of polio, which transferred through ingestion of infected water. It'd be so disappointing if they closed the pool, wouldn't it? But this is still an active mine here. They're still working in this pit. I think it's actually the deepest gold mine, underground gold mine in Australia. I've got Hoover House, which is up here. Herbert Hoover, who ended up being a president of the United States of America. He built it when he was the mine manager.
It was reported that he was actually the richest 30-year-old man in the world at the stage when he came back. So that he commissioned to have the house built, and then he actually left before it was finished, but ended up coming backwards and forwards with his wife and had stayed there a couple of times. But yeah. There you go.
So he was the mine manager here, and he was only 23 years old when he was the mine manager. Incredible.
The old Leonora house.
It's hard to think that due to the size of Gwalia that there was actually a tram system here. Tram ran between Leonora and Gwalia, which is only a few kilometres away, maybe 2 kilometres away. 1908 to 1921.
Yeah, have a look at the lookout, because that's what it's for.
To look out.
So look out. Look out! You see a dump truck making its way up the ramp. So there's the dump truck just there-ish.
So Gwalia is the deepest trucking mine in the world at 1,600 metres below surface. It takes approximately 80 minutes for the truck to travel the 11.5 kilometres from 1,700 metres below the surface.
So this is the garden where women used to play croquet, I'm pretty sure.
Croquet?
Croquet, according to the book. overlooks the mine again.
That's incredible, really, isn't it?
So we've just gone and ordered ourselves some lattes and scones, and I can't wait. Yum, yum, yum. A different vantage point at mine. Look at the house. Beautiful. Beautiful.
I don't need sugar, I'm sweet enough. That is hot. I just burnt my tongue. So the question is...
To scone or not scone?
Definitely to scone. I'm a scone hard out. Oh, they're soft. And they're warm.
Let me... Does that help?
Yeah, heaps. Such a rock ape.
Mm-hmm. He said it, not me. You heard him. Comparison rating.
Let me just get amongst it.
It's taking a long time to make a decision. It's important stuff.
Okay. Decision is being made.
Okay. And for you?
Ward infinities. It's alright.
I mean, let's be real, there's never such a thing as a disappointing scone. Alright. I agree. Ward infinities ones were better.
So there you go. Don't go driving 250 kilometres out of the way. Just go to Coolgardie. Hello, and welcome to Granite Creek. So this is the most isolated point on the Golden Quest Discovery Trail. Yeah, it's not a very good road from Leonora out to here. It can be quite rough in places. Now, John Aspinall, the guy whose grave we went to yesterday, he stayed here on his way up to Lake Darlow for that gold rush. The creek actually apparently it goes up to 30 feet deep in some places, and it's just cut clean out of the granite. So it's a bit of a picnic area. I think you can stay here. There's some campsites here. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
The vines growing up the tree.
It's all twisted all up the tree. Lots of cattle on this road though. We did pass through a few, what are they called? Stations? Well,
Yeah.
windmill areas where cattle are
And cattle grids.
that's what you film, laying about and mooing.
And mooing.
Stopped to tell them some information about our Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ, but they didn't want a bar of it.
Weren't interested, they ran away. Yeah, so Granite Creek. It's so isolated. I think we're 64 kilometres from Leonora to get here. And apparently, it's quite common to see budgerigars here.
Wow.
The old budgie.
Budgerigars or budgie smugglers?
Wow.
Wow.
Bit of column A and a bit of column B. But I think we'll move on, eh?
Yeah.
All right.
What's our next stop, Captain?
Copperfield or something? I'm pretty sure it's
Copperfield?
I think it's Copperfield.
Copperfield or Copperfield?
All of the above.
Let's go.
She touched my bottom. All right, we've made it to Copperfield. Now Copperfield and Mount Ida, they're probably about 7 kilometres apart. This whole region was, again, boom and bust. It was very similar to Gwalia. And within a week, the whole town of Mount Ida had to leave the area and move south. Well, most people moved south, but other people moved on. Now this is Copperfield here. There's still an old head frame and stuff out the back there, but it looks like they're busy again. Busy, they must have found more gold. Yeah, there's about 6 drill rigs in this area. So this is old Copperfield. It was Timoni, I think was the actual mine site. And it was operational, the whole area was operational for about 70 years. And then just overnight, they packed up and left. Onward to Snake Hill and Lake Ballard. And there we were. 2 intrepid travellers
Yawning.
driving around the Goldfields bush.
Bush.
Getting our Goldfields on.
Yeah. Getting our adventure pants on. Got to make sure they fit good because they're going to be on full time shortly.
In this rig, what a rig. Shit hot.
That felt so wrong.
It did.
Felt like we were driving through the actual mine site or a working mine site, but we just following the instructions in the book. Onward.
Onward. Wonder how much longer though they're going to keep this track open if they're doing all this drilling here. Whether they close the track or not.
Don't know. But there we go.
There you go. Hello, children. So plans changed a little bit. We got to Lake Ballard where we were planning to stay for the night, and it was pretty busy. So we decided to keep trekking on. So we've made it to our next stop, which is Ullaring Rock, another 60 odd kilometres down the road south of Lake Ballard. That's the one. Words. Use my words. So we're going to take a quick walk over the rocks, see what's here at Ullaring. It looks like we're the only people here at the moment.
It looks as though there's about 4 camp spots, or there's 4 fire pits.
Yeah, it looks like there's 4 fire pits. There's a pretty windy road coming into it.
Not suitable for...
If you got a big van, I wouldn't bring it in. But yeah, we'll have a walk over the rock, stretch our legs.
But we've driven about 360 kilometres today, a lot of it on dirt and corrugations.
Yeah. So what we say, at Ullaring Rock, there was a battle between the local indigenous people.
Well, I wouldn't say local. There was... Apparently there was some people on expedition, and they'd been out for a while without water, and the camels were... No, the camels were fading pretty fast. So they broke away from their group and came and climbed up the rock and found water had made its way down to the soak, and the camels drunk it up and pretty much emptied the soak out. It refilled very quickly and was full again the next day. But Mr. Ernest Giles claims that their party was camped here and they were attacked upon by some 100 of local indigenous people. He explains them as dressed in war paint and feathers, and they carried a lot of clubs, weapons and things with them, and set upon them and attacked them. But the way the trail book describes it is that Ernest's recollection of the event can't be verified because it is very elaborate.
And that's a bit of history on Ullaring Rock.
Although, as I've said before, you're not here for our truthful facts. I could have totally messed that up, but it's something along those lines anyway. Yeah. Fun fact, my facts aren't always right.
Works for me.
Mm-hmm. we're going to leave it here and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Wait, hold on. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That'd be fantastic. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.